Hey everyone, what is up? Welcome back to Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. I don't really have a ton to say today in the intro. So let's just go ahead and jump right back in. Last episode we had Archer's betrayal, the relationship between Shiro and Tosaka deepening, and now we are going to look for Illya to possibly form an alliance. Let's see what's going on. Interesting stuff. I wake up from the light shining in. It's before 6 o'clock. The sky I can see through the window is a clouded one. Oh, wait. Never mind. I thought one of my OBS settings was off. Ignore that. I get ready and leave my room. My body feels well, and there isn't that much pain from my wound. I shouldn't be a burden to Tosaka even if we end up fighting. I mean, you probably need to let it sit a little longer than that, but... Why are you wearing glasses? Why is she in glasses? I'm ready, but... Tosaka has transformed.
何よ、地雷踏んで動けなくなった新兵みたいな顔して。まだ準備できてないの?
She's transformed? That seems a little dramatic.
いや、そうじゃなくて、父さんがなんか変じゃないか。
は？ああ、これ細かい作業の時にかけるだけだから気にしないで。
Alright, if you say so. Well, I guess it's alright if you say so. What kind of magic is it? It looks so wrong, and yet so right.
いい？私たちが向かうのは郊外の森。
It really likes the glasses, huh?
町からはるかに離れた市街。まだ人の手が入っていない広大な樹海よ。長年人間の介入を拒んできただけあって、森は深くて広いわ。年に何人か何の準備もなしに踏み込んで遭難したって話知ってるでしょ?
Seriously? I knew it was a big forest, but Jesus, that's absurd. I nod silently. Our destination is the Einzbern villa that is said to be somewhere in that forest. Our fate will be sealed the instant our negotiations fail and we end up fighting. We won't be able to call for help, and it will be difficult to run away. We cannot escape that forest unless we defeat that giant, Berserker.
じゃあ、そろそろ行きましょう。
Yeah, and that's not happening without Saber or Archer. Actually, it probably doesn't happen without both of them.
徹夜して場所に当たりはつけといたから、うまくすれば半日ぐらいで見つけられるはずよ。とりあえず国道までは車を使うから、タクシー代用意しといて。
She starts walking with a big bag in her head. I follow her with the usual Shinai bag in mine. But Tosaka, money for the cab is fine, but does that mean we'll be walking back on the way home? Oh lord, that's tough. We rode the taxi for an hour from the town. We drove on the highway, past many mountains, and reached the entrance to the forest. It's that far away? Is it really? Didn't Saber and Tosaka, like, walk there in the Fate route? I guess maybe they didn't walk there. Maybe they took a cab or something, but... Of course, the forest does not have any paved roads. We finally reached the entrance to the forest after walking about 1 kilometer from the highway. I knew it wasn't going to be easy, but I get nervous once I actually face it. The forest is dark, even though it's daytime. The tall branches block off the sunlight, and it's hard to see more than a few meters ahead, let alone to the end.
ちょっとシロ、悪いけど先に進んでみてくれない？
いいけど、あの子の居場所を知ってるのは父さんなんだろ？俺が先に行っても仕方がないと思うわ。
But she's like relying on her instincts, or does she have a reason to have us lead? I complain as I enter the forest. Then...
なんだ、ビリッときたぞ。
Oh, what, boundary field? Did she want him to detect it, or... I pulled back my foot. I only felt the shock for an instant. It's not that strong, so it'd hurt more if I hit my foot on the corner of a dresser. Well, in short, it was like static electricity.
やっぱり識別だけだろうけど森全体に管理が行き届いてるみたいね。
ちょっと待て。それまずいんじゃないのか。
I mean, it's not like this is a sneak attack, but she might misunderstand this.
要するに防犯ベルに引っかかったってことだろ。なら
別に問題ないんじゃない？私たちは奇襲に来たわけじゃないもの。話し合いに来たんだから、むしろ今からアピールしておいた方が得でしょ？
That's literally what I just said. I literally was about to say, we didn't come for a surprise attack, we came for diplomacy.
一応気をつけろよ。ちょっとビリッとくるから。
分かってる分かってる。シローの見てたからどんなものか分かってるって。
She's not prepared at all. She's gonna walk in, it's gonna shock her or something. She waves her hand and steps into the forest. Then... Whoa! Yeah, was not prepared at all. Tosaka jumps back with a funny scream. I hear fire hissing. I want to believe that it's my imagination that the leaves under Tosaka's feet are scorched.
個人差がある警報みたいだな。俺には挨拶程度だったけど。
I calmly analyze the situation. Yeah, I saw from a mile away that that thing was going to be not nice to Tosaka. Still funny though. But it doesn't seem like Tosaka's listening to me.
やってくれるじゃないあのガキ。今笑ったの確かに聞こえたんだから。
Yeah, I was laughing too. Tosaka yells into the empty sky. She's so angry that she might go to fight instead of talk. Well, anyway, seems talking bad about Tosaka is fatal no matter how far away you are from her, so I guess I'll refrain from doing so. She was ready to throw hands, bro. We walk into the forest. Oh, goodness. I misread that like 3 times. We're the only people in this vast place. I don't hear any beasts, and the grasses are dead like corpses. Goodness, man. Why am I yawning so much? Like 5 p.m., dude. The endless rows of trees makes me think this forest goes on forever. It's been 3 hours since we entered. Just as our surroundings start to blur together.
見つけた。って聞いてはいたけど呆れたわ。本気でこんなところにあんなものを建てるなんて。
I follow Tosaka's stare. There's only darkness ahead. Between the trees, there's something unbefitting of these surroundings, visible through a crack so small that you'd miss it if you weren't careful.
なんだあれ。壁か。
壁よ。まったくどうかしてるわ。あれ、自分たちの国から丸ごと持ってきたものよ。
They brought an entire wall? Tosaka complains and heads to the strange object we can see in the distance. I still can't tell what it is, so I follow her. We get out of the forest. The endless forest quickly ends. No, it seems like the forest is scooped out here with a big spoon. The sky curving above us is gray, a giant dome. Seems more like an underground kingdom than a clearing. This is Illya's dwelling. An old castle built within the forest. A solitary castle without any visitors. Too big for one girl. Not to mention too desolate for anyone to live in. Oh my goodness, dude. Why is the yawning so vicious today? I always yawn when I start an episode, but this is next level. A solitary castle without any visitors. Too big for one girl. Not to mention too desolate for anyone to live alone in. Anyway, it does no good to be standing here. According to Tosaka, Heliosville knows we're here. And we should go in from the front entrance as a sign that we're not here to fight.
よし、行くぞ、Tosaka。って、Tosaka?
Tosaka's looking up at the castle with an alarmed expression. Her face is tense as if she's confronting an enemy.
Tosaka、気になるもんでもあったのか？
That's the combat music, so I'm a little worried, but...
私たち以外に誰かいる。
Oh, what?
そりゃいるだろう。イリアってことバーサーカーの住処なんだから。
I'm guessing she means not them. Does she mean, like, Like, they're kind of like the servants that we saw on the Fate route, or whoever they might be. Maybe Illya's siblings, potentially? I don't know. Whoever they were. Right. The ones who were, like, in servitude to Illya.
そうじゃなくて、それ以外の誰かってことよ。シロ、こっちから入るわよ。
ちょっとお前。
Or is it another master? That's the question. Tosaka starts running towards a big tree by the wall, and I don't have time to stop her. No, that's not all. She grabs onto a branch and skillfully climbs up. I look up in astonishment. Tosaka looks around and... she jumps and kicks at the castle. Does she just bust a window? A shattering sound. The window breaks and the red figure disappears into the castle.
ほら早く。本気でおかしいわよ、この城。
もう話し合いをするんじゃなかったのかよ。
Yeah, what the heck are you doing? But what's done is done. I climb up the tree and jump into the second floor window like Tosaka. Is that a fight? We enter the hallway. Even before I'm dazzled by the magnificence of the castle, I sense the abnormality Tosaka is talking about. I hear sounds of fighting, swords crashing against each other. But would such a storm-like battle even be possible? Even the most fierce battle of swords, the battle between Berserker and Saber, did not create such sounds. And I suddenly realize, this isn't the sound of swords crashing. This is one against many. There's literally a war going on somewhere in this castle. One side has to be Iliasfeel. This is Iliasfeel's castle. If there's a battle here, it could only be Berserker attacking the intruding enemy. I'd probably Caster's army, right? I run. The sound is coming from below us. It sounds like the sound effect they always use for Saber's sword. Considering the location we came in from, the battle is happening right in the center of the castle, in the guest hall. I run through the unfamiliar castle. This isn't the time to be talking. I don't know what's going on, but something terrible is happening. I run down the stairs. A fierce battle is happening nearby.
閉めた。ここ、広間の吹き抜けに繋がってる。
Tosaka confirms what's down the hallway. The hallway splits at a T-junction, both branches leading to a terrace at either side of the hall.
ここで別れましょう。私はこっちから様子を見るから、シロはそっちからお願い。
Alright. It's better to split up. As we are now, we have no way to escape once we're found. There's no point in staying together right now. We don't stand a chance either way. If we're separated, there's hope for the other one to escape even if one of us is found. Sokka walks down the hallway facing east. I nod and go down the other hallway, the one heading west.
シロ、
She suddenly calls to me.
分かってるわね。何が起きようと絶対に手は出さないで。今の私たちに戦う手段はない。いい？やばいと思ったらすぐに逃げるのよ。どちらかが捕まっても構わず走って。誰かを助けるなんて、まず自分を助けてから考えることなんだから。
I don't think Shiro cares about that statement. Logically, yes, but in Shiro's brain, like, that's not the case. She suppresses her emotions. Sounds more like a wish than a warning. I go around and come out into the terrace. This looks exactly like the destruction that Archer left, so... I see Tosaka emerge on the opposite side. She immediately takes cover, then peeks out. As soon as I follow her example and look down, we both gasp.
Shinji?
Oh! Is it Gilgamesh? In Berserker? Shinji stands atop the rubble in the corner of the room, happily watching the scene. No, that's not the surprising thing. What I have to accept right now is the battle Shinji is observing. Obviously Berserker's here, but the Black Giant lets out a roar. The swinging axe sword blows up dust and grinds the rubble into powder. The Mad Warrior appears no different from before. No, his dreadful roar is louder now. He's losing. The girl in white is behind the giant, Berserker's master, Ilya's feel. An ever-smiling girl, unsuited for murder. But the girl is now shivering and watching her servant with a face almost in tears. Her pale face is desperately trying to deny the despair in front of her. Someone help me. The girl's trembling lips mouth these words. A storming whirlwind. Berserker's axe sword is repelled each time by the noble phantasm of one servant, the one reigning from the throne of rubble in the center of the hall. Oh, Lord. What is that fit? Oh, man, he changed his looks up, huh? Jeez. Shinji's on the offensive with Gilgamesh. That's a problem. Jeez, man. You know, our only hope was them to, like, work together with us. But I suppose that would be too convenient, right? I mean, although, let's be real. Gilgamesh might be able to solo Castor's army. It's quite possible. Many swords are released, each one of the weapons appearing from behind the man who would cause certain death. Not who would cause certain death, although he would also cause certain death. Both statements are true. They attack. They're like gushing water. The infinite noble phantasms not only repel Berserker's axe sword, but pierce his body. Pieces are blown from his body. Sword cuts through his body, penetrates his skull, and pierces his heart. But he still does not die. The giant regenerates every time he is killed, slowly but surely moving forward. 8 times already. He's been killed so many times, but Berserker still moves forward. The enemy greets him with a smile. The tragedy continues. Jeez, man. Berserker is killed without even being able to go near the enemy.
Buck.
It's not because Berserker is getting killed without being able to do anything. That man, that servant is beyond belief. The infinite noble phantasms he sends out are each a true noble phantasm. I can tell since I've projected Archer's swords. They are the originals of every noble phantasm, the first ones, from before they became legend. Who could he be, having an infinite supply of such weapons? No, first of all, there should only be 7 servants. And he's the 8th one. Someone that shouldn't exist. I can't breathe. Berserker defies description. His body of steel and his superhuman strength, and his regenerative powers on top of that, he is not someone you can match. But the 8th servant does not retreat from such an opponent and overwhelms Berserker using the demonic swords and the holy swords he releases. When I look up, I can see that Tosaka is pale as well. It's only natural. The place below us is a land of death. I feel like this music is so, like, the sound effects are so loud. Maybe they're not as loud as I think, but let me turn them down just a little bit. I can't hear myself. Maybe that turned it down a little too low, but I hope not. I'm looking at the mixer. My voice isn't that much louder. The place below us is a land of death. We'll die instantly if we enter it. No, more than that. He is a demon. He has a brutality different from Berserker. That man wishes for battles only to kill others. But with such an enemy in front of him, the Black Giant is still the strongest. He does not stop even if he is pierced or slashed all over his body. I don't know if I'd call him the strongest in front of Gilgamesh, but he receives the rain of noble phantasms, regenerates each time, and closes in on his enemy. He's got to be running out of lives, right? It is an advance devoid of tactics. He's not thinking about countering the enemy's attacks. It is a savage fight where he advances on his enemy as long as he still lives. He will not reach the enemy. Berserker's brute courage will prove futile, and he will end his life as a mere target. The enemy understands that. That is why he is standing there and provoking the foolishly advancing giant. The Black Giant does not have a way to win. It's something the enemy and even I understand. And probably, even Berserker himself knows that. But the giant keeps walking forward. He knows no retreat and does not avoid the attacks. The man greets the figure with a smile.
所詮はバーサーカー。戦うだけのものであったか。同じ半身として期待していたが、よもやそこまでアホとはな。
Good Lord, Gilgamesh. Oh man. The noble phantasms emerge from space. Letting out a laugh, he readies the noble phantasms behind him.
では、そろそろ引導を渡してやろう。これ以上近づかれては暑苦しい。
Oh my god, is he using the rain? Oh man, he just snapped his fingers. What? At his signal, the numerous noble phantasms descend on the giant. The giant repels most of them, and at the same time, loses most of his life. The black giant shakes. The body of rock starts to fall, but the giant stands his ground and shakes the noble phantasms from his body. Oh, he did not expect that. Okay. He caught Gilgamesh slipping. That's kind of impossible. The exclamation of surprise comes from the strange servant. The black giant destroys the swarm of noble phantasms and moves towards his enemy. His body is dying already. With a hopeless fatal wound, the black giant still advances. It is the result of a strong will. It is not madness resulting from being a berserker. The giant faces this hopeless fight with an iron will.
でかいだけの的が未だ形をとどめるか。
He's pissed. The magical bullets are fired mercilessly. Repelling it with his axe sword, the giant corners the man with his body slashed and with his limbs pierced. He will not reach the man, but he still challenges the man because there is something he cannot give up. And what is he moving forward for? Servants fight for their master to protect their master's life. That is why the giant does not retreat. He can only move forward as a shield to protect the frightened master behind him. The giant continues his foolish advancement. It is because he knows that he needs to take all the attacks in order to beat that servant without having his master killed. And when he reaches his enemy, that is when he wins. From the beginning, that has been this battle's nature. The man has to kill the giant before he reaches him. The giant has to approach the man before his life ends. It is a battle where the one to accomplish their goal is the one to win. The giant is aware of that, even if it is a battle with no hope of victory from the start. He roars. Coming out of his 10th death, his body explodes forward. He charges into the man like a bull charging a matador.
Gero!
Numerous arrows are released. Was it his last charge, or did he just get used to the attacks? The giant repels all the arrows. He approaches the owner of the noble phantasms. He swings his axe sword. The weapon that has not yet been raised against the man rips through the air.
天の鎖よ!
Heavens what now? What is this? The black bull is captured by numerous appearing chains, excuse me. Are you actually serious? What is this? How did they buff the man with every noble phantasm ever? They said, you know what? Gilgamesh wasn't strong enough in the Fate route. How about we buff him? Good lord. This dude is something else. Obviously, but... What kind of a noble phantasm is it? The chain that appeared out of nowhere confines Berserker as if binding space itself. The chain twists Berserker's arms and bends them in a direction they should not go. The chains tighten mercilessly, trying to tear off the rock-like head.
これでも死なぬか。かつて天の王子すら束縛した鎖だが、お前を仕留めるには至らぬらしい。
Jesus. This is a testament to Berserker's strength, though. The man's voice. The hall is filled with the creaking sounds of the chain. It must be Berserker's power. The giant tries to break the chain that binds even space itself. Even if it sounds impossible, I'm sure the giant will be able to manage it. And the man acknowledges that as well. The girl screams. Lysville commands Berserker to retreat using her command spell. But the giant is still bound by chains, unable to move an inch. What is that, like, disable command spells too? Disable, like, magic, I'd assume?
無駄だ人形。この鎖につながれた者は、たとえ神であろうと逃れることはできん。いいな。神性が高ければ高いほど餌食となる。もとより神を律するためだけに作られたもの。霊樹による空間転移など、この俺が許すものか。
Good lord. They really said, what do we give the man who had everything? Ah, yes. How about chains that can bind a target and there's no way to escape? Command spells just don't work. Like, you thought you were out? Nope. And so, the man points to the giant as if to denote the end. An astonished girl's voice. It's over. It really ends. Bound by chains, he receives 22 noble phantasms on his defenseless body. The black giant falls silent after becoming a grotesque object. I don't even need to check if he's alive or not. Even if he is a great hero that overcame 10 deaths, he should not be able to get up after receiving 20. Yes, even if he is alive, he should not even have the power to breathe. And the battle ends. It was known from the start who was going to win. Berserker cannot beat that servant. No, servants cannot beat that man as long as they are heroic spirits. All heroic spirits have things they were weak against when they were alive. Those are their greatest weak points. Then, what if there's a hero who possesses all of the noble phantasms, even the ones that killed each hero? This is the result. Even if he may have been stronger, he cannot beat that man. Sheesh. Yeah, so Gilgamesh just kind of dunked on Berserker. I mean, he's obviously immensely powerful, but, like, jeez, man. It's not a surprise, but at the same time, just of all the servants, to see Berserker annihilated like that. Sheesh, man. Sheesh. Gilgamesh actually might be able to solo Caster's army. I'm not gonna lie. He actually might be able to do it. If there's anybody that actually stands a chance, it's Gilgamesh, obviously. I wonder if that means we're gonna, like... Is it ever possible that we temporarily ally with Shinji? Deal with Caster? I don't know. It's tough. Let's just keep going. We'll see. The girl in white runs to the giant corpse. Seeing it, the man mercilessly slashes the girl with the sword in his hand. Oh. I can't say I'm surprised at Illya's death, but yikes. That was horrifying. A scream. The man slashes her eyes in one blow. He did what? You are... Oh my god, you're scum. And he pierces her heart. But it misses. No, he made it miss. The girl is pierced in her lung and coughs up blood. The chains are broken. Berserker ain't out of this yet. Shattering his binds, the black giant charges at the man. The man pierces the slow-moving target. A lance to pierce the heart. That's a nice callback to the prologue. He impales the giant with a lance very similar to Gaibolg. That's it. The black giant dies for sure this time. The sword is pulled out from the girl, leaving traces of red. The girl crawls to the unmoving giant. Watching in delight, the man walks forward. He throws down his sword. He will use his bare hands to finish off the dying girl. I'll die. I'll probably die. I'll surely die this time. There's no logic behind that servant. He'll kill anyone that hinders him. I'll surely be killed if I don't get away from here before he finds me. And I... Keep hidden from Gilgamesh. Or... confront him. Okay, so here's the thing. This sounds terrible. But is there ever any semblance of a chance that we're saving Illya here? I don't think there is. I think if we try to stop him, we just die. Like, we just die. Right? Like, there's no way we don't just die. We don't stand a chance against him, and I don't think there would even be a chance of us saving Illya. Her lung has already been pierced. And her eyes slashed. She's toast, bro. Like, do we even bother? It basically comes down to, is Shiro stupid enough to actually jump out at Gilgamesh, despite knowing that is certain death? Maybe somehow Shinji being there will get him to stop? That seems like wishful thinking, though, right? It obviously makes much more sense to restrain ourselves, but I think I'm going to try the stop option and just watch how we die. And if not, it means we form some kind of alliance, probably some kind of alliance with Shinji. Maybe we somehow get lucky, save Illya. That seems highly, highly unlikely. I think we're just dead, and I'm just going to do the scene anyways. My frozen body bursts. My feet lift me up and my arms grab the railing at the same time. I see Tosaka as I do so. She's biting her lips in anger while watching the tragedy below us. I know. Tosaka wants to stop him as well. But we'll be the ones to be killed if we do so. She can't stop him. That goes the same for me as well. I know it's stupid of me to die trying to save a dying girl. Oh, it's incredibly stupid, but it's kind of in character, so... That's kind of why I went for it. Like, I could see him doing this. I don't care about that. I just can't leave her be. That's all that fills my mind. I jump down over the railing. Tosaka and Shinji both look in surprise at the intruder, but the man does not even look at me. The man reaches for the girl's body. I yell. I stop him with all my might.
Oh.
The man stops his arm. And he slowly turns to me like death that found its new prey. Notice the capital D, like that. You mean like the Grim Reaper. Oh, an interlude. Is this the right path? Was I supposed to do this? Oh my. Wait. What was my assumption? Because of the fact that, like, was this being in character, right, for him to jump out and try to save a dying girl like that, right? Because that was part of my thought process. And the fact that potentially Shinji seeing us might get him to stop, right? Maybe we explain the situation, if we're lucky, right? Is that going to save us? I don't think we've ever seen an interlude. No. I don't think we've ever seen an interlude on a bad end, so maybe. I mean, maybe this is a first time, but it is quite possible that this is actually what we were supposed to do, and that is interesting. This is, like I said, like, that was the type of thing where, like, I wouldn't be surprised if it gets killed, but, like, it is in character for Shiro, so we just went for it anyways. Going back over a month, he was summoned into this world before anyone. He was not summoned in this country, a faraway foreign land. The land is always covered in white, the sky is always gray, and the castle is built within a hidden mountain. Ooh, Illya backstory time. It is always winter in that land, coldness and stagnation, barrenness and longing. As they cut all ties with the present world and await the reproduction of the miracle, they're like living corpses. The cold winter air steals their human warmth, and the stagnant world does not allow them a new lifestyle. The family is the seeker of the Holy Grail. Spring does not come for the Einzbern family until their wish is fulfilled. It has been 10 centuries since they started the search for the Holy Grail. Sheesh. As they used every possible method to attain their goal, they were eventually able to forge the Holy Grail. But even then, all they can build is the vessel. The divine mystery that should dwell in there is empty, and they keep building vessels that will never be filled. Oh wait, that gave me an idea. Or a thought. They can only build the vessel. If this is the correct path, what are the chances that it's because fully allowing Illya to die would mean there's no Holy Grail, right? Could it be that? Because she is the vessel, as we know, right? So, could it be that if we just let her die, that somehow makes the Holy Grail disappear, right? Which leads to a bad end? Maybe? I don't know. I mean, we'll see all the bad ends eventually anyways, so I'll be able to just kind of come back to this, see if I was right or not, I guess. I need water. But a foreseeable end comes to them. They perform a ritual to fill the vessel with help from outsiders. The result is both a success and a failure. The Holy Grail is made. The Holy Grail should be filled with that method. But they make many enemies at the same time. Even though they should be the owners of the Holy Grail, they have been degraded down to the common magi that donate help. Their tenacity is abnormal. No, they've been obsessed since that time 1,000 years ago, when they almost obtained the Holy Grail. They broke the rules and constantly pulled out the strongest card. In the first one, they did not have time to do such a thing. In the second one, they finally found a loophole in the rules. In the third one, they summoned what they shouldn't have. And in the fourth one, they were sure of their victory, having the strongest card and its master. The result was a total failure. In the first one they didn't have time to summon like a servant. The second one they found a loophole in the rules. Third one summoned that which they shouldn't have, maybe a berserker again. Fourth one they were sure of their victory, having the strongest card and its master. Is that referring to Kiritsugu and Saber? Because we know that kind of resulted in a catastrophic failure. I mean, unless this isn't actually talking about the Holy Grail Wars. The servant and the master they selected betrayed them. Oh no, it is. It is. Okay. The man destroyed the Holy Grail, leaving behind his wife and daughter in the Winter Castle. Yikes. They were infuriated with the man's betrayal, and they lamented their mistake. Outsiders cannot be trusted. Their family, with their perfected magic circuits, will be the only ones to obtain the Holy Grail, leaving behind his wife and daughter. Is it safe to assume they were killed? Or is Illya calling us Big Brother for an actual reason? Probably not. I'm pretty sure she is an actual Einzbern, but interesting thought. They had insurance to begin with, and on the 5th one, they finally prepared the strongest master and servant. It was him. 2 months before the Holy Grail War began, every rule was broken for him, Berserker, to be summoned. The days that followed were to only hurt the master. The command spell engraved all over the girl was used to control Berserker. It did no good as a magic circuit and only drained her life away. Even the slightest move on Berserker's part caused the girl to scream in pain. It was only natural. The Holy Grail would appear in 2 months. The only things keeping him in this world were this girl's magical energy and her command spell. Berserker was not created from the magical energy of the Holy Grail. That is interesting. Even if the girl may have been special, to keep Berserker in this world using her own magical energy was like having her life taken away. Knowing that, they still did not allow for her to rest. They abandoned them in the winter forest, filled with hungry beasts. They gave them over to possessed corpses. They threw them in a waste yard full of failures. The only way for the girl to survive was to rely on the giant she had been given. She survived that training that was more like torture. She would let the giant attack the oncoming enemies. She would let out screams of anguish, but she allowed him to attack every one of her enemies. He does not know himself, when the process became a special one for him. In contrast to her young appearance, she hated whining. I thought that said winning for a second. Everything that came out of her mouth was an insult. She must have instinctively known that if she was going to murmur something, she would get stronger when she would insult and hate someone. The girl scorned Berserker for being ugly and cursed his existence. It was only natural. The girl would not have to suffer if he had not existed. She would not have been thrown in hell if she had not been chosen as a master. The girl insulted the giant every chance she got and used him to take out her anger. The pain had lessened by the time she mastered Berserker's control, which was when the Holy Grail showed signs of its appearance. The girl took away the giant's sanity as if in revenge, treating him as a mad warrior. But he already knew that this was the girl's desperate opposition. The girl did so to hide her weakness. She walked with pride as if saying she could live alone, and that she did not need any friends or collaborators. It was a bluff to ignore the fact that she was fated to have nothing. A music choice. That is, phew. That's a jarring image. I couldn't think of the words. That is... That is really creepy, especially with that music in the background, too. Yikes. The winter forest. The girl timidly touched the arm covered in blood. Surrounded by hungry beasts, the girl was prepared for her death, but desperately denied it. At that time, he was not able to move without an order from his master, and he was the first to be attacked by the beasts. The beasts bit off pieces of his neck, head, and limbs. With the scene in front of her, the girl screamed. As he had his sanity taken away, he cannot recall what she said back then. The girl yelled not for her sake, but for his. Even though her body was destroyed whenever he swung his arm, she endured it for his sake. That's why they were both covered in blood. The giant was covered in the beast's blood, The girl was covered in her own blood. He remembers the winter forest, the weight of the girl that rested on him, crying tears of anguish, and he realized that small, cold castle. He was the only one she talked to. That music choice just makes it. It makes that scene so much better. Wow. Oh man. Her figure appears in his vision. It is just like that time. The tears he did not see on her since she became a complete master. The girl is running to him in tears, and the man slashes her. The golden foe gashes her eyes with a single slash, taking away her light forever. Her face is covered in red. She still runs in spite of that, falls over a piece of rubble as her eyes are cut. The slender body falls over. There, the enemy sword is brought down. The sword misses her heart. The girl is coughing up blood as her lung must have been pierced. It is not instant death, but it is fatal. With her eyes slashed, her lung pierced, and her servant eliminated, she has nothing now. So she should at least die peacefully. Might be a salvation if she would just go to sleep right there. But...
痛い。痛いよ。まさか。
oh man. Picturing this in my head is awful, man. The girl crawls, leaving traces of blood. Crying in pain, she crawls towards the black giant. And this music, too. Oh, man. How much power was left in him. Breaking the chains with all his might, he charges at the man. The demonic lance is thrust. The heart-piercing lance impales the giant. That ends it. The man pulls out the lance as if nothing has happened. The remaining power in the giant completely disappears. His body disappears. All the power that was giving his body form has disappeared. So all that is left for him is for him to disappear. All that is left for him is to disappear. I was right the first time. As he ran out of magical energy, there's no way for him to stay in this world. He falls, but in his last living moment, he sees the girl fumbling around for him. Power returns to his falling body, the law of magic that constructed him, the regulation of the world that hates inconsistencies, the body that is crumbling away like sand.
バーサーカーは強いね。
He pushes aside all powers trying to eliminate him, using his own power of will. He cannot disappear yet. He's probably the only one she relied on, you know. He has to answer the solitary girl that believed in him, although she insulted him.
どこ？わかんない。真っ暗で何もわかんないよ。バーサーカー。
Oh man, I truly cannot believe Gilgamesh did that. That is horrifying, man. With her eyes slashed, the girl crawls with her hands stretched out. She must want to feel him, as she cannot see now. The blood-stained hands grope through empty space, trying to verify his presence. There's no power left in him. There's nothing he can do. Berserker will fall here and die here. His body has died, and there's no power left to support him.
だから私は安心だよ。どんなやつバーサーカーさえいれば負けないもの。
But that cannot be allowed. His mind is dead. Supporting his body with his will that should no longer exist, he parts from this world. His body is still standing, just as it was when he was invincible. As if to say his body has to be invincible until the very last second for the girl that depended on him. And the girl reaches him. The hand that was grasping through empty space finally touches something. Coughing up blood, the girl crawls to the hard figure. She cannot see, but she can still feel him. Berserker hasn't lost yet. She cannot see anymore, but Berserker is still strong like always.
よかった。 ここにいてね。バーサーカー。
This is honestly heart-wrenching. Strength fades from her body. She's hurt and scared, but it's alright as long as he's here. He always protected her. He was scary, but he was really kind. His big body was like that of a dad, and she wanted for him to pick her up once.
暗くても怖くないよ。バーサーカーは強いんだもん。こうしていてくれれば、私は安心できるから。
The fact that even in death, he's comforting her. Jeez, man. She rests her body on him. Feels as though he'll rest one of his big, solid hands on her head. It's probably true. He should be patting her head when she opens her eyes.
ちょっと寒いね。
Her body is cold. Recalling the forest from that time, the girl smiles. It happened so long ago. Recalling the giant that protected her even when injured, the girl peacefully falls asleep. The man reaches out for the girl that went to sleep. I yell. I don't consider the personal danger, nor what could happen to me.
Oh?
I gotta say before we go any further, that was a really good interlude. That was really good. There was a lot of backstory to unpack there. I like how much they're giving everybody like a backstory. Like, and you can kind of see the relationships between a good chunk of the masters and their servants. I mean, Illya is a pretty main character, especially in the Fate route, but so it's not surprising that she had a backstory like that eventually, but wow. And I mean, I kind of knew it would be a tragic one, but man. Berserker being, strong and realizing that she was the only one that she talked to, or he was the only one she talked to, right? Despite how scary he was. Man, that was a great scene. But let's see what's going on here. The man stops. Behind him stands Shinji, surprised at the sudden intruder. The man smiles ominously. My shaking throat speaks up before I can think, but there's no way that man will stop. Couldn't even tell him to stop. The man pulls something out of the girl with a smile, a red dripping object that looks like a fruit. The thing in the man's hand is the girl's heart. Oh dear God. Yikes. My mind burns down. Fear of being killed mixes with my desire to kill him.
観客がいたか。俺の勇姿を見たいという気持ちはわかるが。
With the girl's heart in his right hand.
身の程をわきまえろ。王に命じるとは何事か。雑種
He shoots off one of his numerous noble phantasms at me. And we're dead. No? The terrace falls. The man's noble phantasm destroys the wall of the castle. Is he crushing Shiro? Is that the plan? I don't move at all. I don't care about the rubble falling down. I don't have time to run, and I have no intention of running. I don't care even if a big piece of debris scratches against my back. I can't think of looking away from that guy now.
ほう。何かと思えば、セイバーのマスターとはな。
His red eyes react to my enmity. I'm going crazy. I'll die in the next instant. There's no way I'm not afraid of that. But my body refuses to run away and keeps screaming to defeat that enemy. The girl's corpse keeps ordering me not to forgive that man. It's only natural for me to go crazy. My mind churns with conflicting impulses towards life and death.
戦う意志はあるようだが、話にならん。肝心のセイバーがいないのでは、貴様などに価値はない。
You might be right, but that's not gonna stop Shiro. And even if you're probably about to stop Shiro, like his life. A sword appears in his left hand. The sword is mercilessly raised and should come down to kill Emiya Shiro. I keep glaring at the enemy. I can't even think about showing my back to him.
ちょっと待てよ。そいつさ、僕の知り合いなんだよね。
Is Shinji actually going to be the reason we don't die? Oh man, the man's sword stops. Shinji, who was watching from the other side of the wall, walks to the center of the hall.
よう、久しぶりだな、エミヤ。こんなところで会うとは思わなかったんでね。少しばかり驚いたよ。
Can't stand you. The man does not move. There's about 10 meters between us. Would I be able to get near him? Even Berserker could not close this distance.
なんだ、ブルって声も出ないのか？まあ、気持ちはわからないでもないよ。僕もライダーの時はそうだった。
Of all the people to get Gilgamesh, why Shinji?
ああ、そうだったそうだった。いや、あの時は見逃してもらって助かったよ、エミヤ。
In retrospect, not a very wise decision, but it's not like Shiro to go around mercilessly killing everyone. There's nothing I can use as a weapon, but I don't care. My head is clear right now. I don't feel any uneasiness about projecting his swords right now.
おい、僕がこっちを見ろって言ってるんだ。
I slightly shift my gaze in his direction. I look at Shinji while keeping the man in my view.
そうだよ。わかってるじゃんか。今ここで一番誰が偉いのかってことがさ。
Man, weren't you like a whiny little kid when you lost your freaking servant, bro? And now that you were gifted Gilgamesh, this is how you're gonna act? Oh, man. Oh, man. I can't stand you. Ah, man. Somebody needs to put this dude in his place. But he's got Gilgamesh, so that's not happening anytime soon. I gasp. It's not because of what he said. It's unexpected that he's saying so from the bottom of his heart.
そういうことだ。なら分かってるよな、エミヤ。お前、このままじゃ確実に死ぬよ。
How out of place. Why say something that's so obvious?
紹介が遅れたが、そいつは僕の新しいサーバントでね。ライダーなんかよりすごいだろ。
Shinji puts his hand on the man's shoulder, and with a delighted face.
命乞いしろよ、エミヤ。少しは考えてやってもいいぜ。
No, I don't think I will. He says something unimaginable.
断る。
I do not hesitate. Answer right away without showing any signs of even considering it.
そうかよ。それじゃあ死んじゃえよ、お前。
Shinji jumps back. The man, still with a cold expression, finally brings his sword down.
そこまでよ。そこのサーバント。指一本でも動かせば、マスター
Yeah.
の命は保証しないわ。
Do it. Gank Shinji. Kill him right now. No. No hesitation. Just kill him. He needs death. Right now. Kill him. Please. I'm begging you. End his life. End his existence. And the man stops his sword once again. So anyways, I started blasting. Everyone looks up. Everyone down in the hall turns his attention to the girl on the terrace. Tosaka's hand is aimed at Shinji. Even though Shinji is not a magus, he should know what that means. Tosaka's serious. If the man brings down his sword, she will kill Shinji as retaliation.
遠坂、お前までなんでここに？
I'm gonna need you to put the dots together. She doesn't answer, but just keeps her aim on Shinji.
なんだよお前本気で僕を撃とうってのか
Oh, I don't want
人殺し
I don't want to hear it, Shinji. Whether you personally killed someone or not, like, you were ready to strike us down unless we begged for mercy, right? You watched as your servant blinded a little girl, right? And then purposefully missed her heart, right? And stabbed her in the lungs. And then ripped her heart out. And you're trying to act like Tosaka is the bad person here. I don't care if you did that or not. You were cool with that. You were delighted. You were smiling. You're a horrible person, Shinji. And this isn't even getting into you with Ryder, right? The freaking blood fort. I don't even want to hear it, bro.
殺したのはそっちが先でしょう。
And second.
もっともどうであれこっちの気は変わらないわ。シンジ、殺す権利と殺される権利は同じよ。そんなこと人間なら魔術師じゃなくても本能で理解なさい。
I guess and second doesn't make any sense, actually. Tried to kill first and second, but... Shinji retreats weakly, being stared down by Tosaka, and the man just watches it in delight. He looks at Tosaka. Oh no. Oh no. Then, I think there was a strong shaking for an instant.
なるほど。俺の打倒はできぬと悟り、マスターを狙ったか。交渉を持ちかけたのは、マスターを殺したところで、俺が止まらぬと判断したからだな、娘。
そうよ。シンジが死んだくらいじゃあんたは止まりそうにない。けどこの状況なら考えてもいいでしょ。今ならシンジを救えるもの。あんただってサーバントならマスターを失うのは痛手のはずよ。
Sure. Yeah, I think he'd probably be fine.
なるほどなるほど。なかなかの起点だ。そこの雑種を助けたいのならば、その交渉しかありえまい。
It is still undoubtedly the best option, though. Whether Gilgamesh would probably be fine without a master or not. His sword disappears. He turned his back to me as if he's lost interest.
お前何のつもりだ。誰が止めろって言ったんだよ。
いや、状況が変わったぞ、シンジ。彼女ならば、器としては文句なしだ。
Oh no, oh man. Shinji stops breathing. His face filled with irritation suddenly turns into a dirty smile.
そうか。いや、嬉しいよ、父さん。君がまだ生きていてくれて。
I cannot stand this duo. You are horrible.
そう。一応私もホッとしたわ。あんたみたいなのでも付き合いは長いからね。どこかで死なれてたら気落ちするわ。
It'd be discouraging. Laughing, Shinji claps his hands. It's so strange. Shinji shows no fear even though Tosaka can end his life. Seems an overwhelming joy is numbing his emotions.
まあいい。それよりどうだ、父さん。エミヤなんてほっといてさ、僕たちと手を組まないか？
No.
僕たち？
そうだよ。君もキャスターが力を蓄えているのは知ってるだろ？竜道寺は今回の祭壇なんだ。そこに陣取られて魔力を蓄えられてるとね、少しばかり不利になる。
Okay, so he knows that much. Shinji says this with both of his hands raised. That's an obvious fact. If I have to add, it seems Shinji doesn't know Caster, Pain Saber, and Archer.
な、わかるだろ？一人でやっても勝ち目は薄いんだ。バーサーカーのマスターは倒したけど、これだけじゃ足りない。どうすか？君がいれば キャスターたちにも負けないものが作れるよ。
I don't think he knows. Shinji invites her with confidence.
お
To
断りよ
that.
シンジ。あんたが誰とつながっているかは知らないけどね、私から見てもいいように使われているだけのやつについていく道理はないわ。
Dang! That's a truth bullet. Yosaka refuses him without twitching a brow.
なんだって？
わからない？腐れ縁から忠告するけど、もうちょっと周りを観察する知力を養いなさい。
Got him. I mean, that's fair though.
マトウシンジをマスターだと思っているのはあんた一人だけよ。あんたには魔術師としての才能がないっていい加減気がついたら？
God dang! God dang, Tosaka! Shinji's face stiffens up. The harsh words must have caused him to forget that his life is in Tosaka's hands.
やれギルガメッシュ。エミヤも遠坂も皆殺しだ。
Shinji orders his servant.
なんだよ。やれって言ってるだろ。お前なら僕がやられる前にやるなんて簡単じゃないか。
I don't think he cares.
いや、残念だが時間切れだ。これ以上放置すれば腐ってしまう。
The man shows Shinji, who is walking up to him in anger, what is in his right hand. A red piece of meat. It is the still throbbing heart he ripped out of that girl. Shinji grits his teeth in vexation.
そう。後悔するなよ遠坂。もう仲間にしてやらないからな。
We wouldn't want to join your team anyways, bro. I wouldn't have wanted to from the start, but like, I could have maybe got it like before, right? It was clear how horrible Gilgamesh is if you guys had teamed up. But like, with how Gilgamesh is and how we've seen him act, there is absolutely no way that Shiro and Tosaka or Tosaka would just be like, yep, let's do it. Shinji runs towards the gate. The other one stays. And after watching his master's disgraceful behavior,
だそうだ。良い友人を持ったな。
yeah, no kidding. Shout out to Tosaka for somehow saving our life after we pulled that idiotic stunt. With those delighted words, he leaves the room filled with rubble. We're gonna get a harsh scolding eventually, right? When we walk to her. The center of the hall. With the sunlight coming in from the ceiling, the girl is sleeping amongst the rubble. Her eyes will never open again. Looking closely, the girl is not white at all. There's red all over her. She looks nothing like she did before. I cannot believe how they did Illya in this route. I absolutely cannot believe how they did Illya. Wow. Like, now that we kind of have a small moment of reprieve, I just gotta say that, right? They added to her backstory, like, a lot, right? But what? Like, that's how they treated Illya. This game is something else, man. I don't have a problem with it. Don't get me wrong. It's just insane to me that they really said, you know what? Screw Illya. She's getting her eyes slashed, her lungs pierced, her heart ripped out, right? She's just dead. She's just dead. Very dead. She's not a major player this time. At all. Wow. And to think, I thought that maybe teaming up with Berserker would be a turning point. Goodness, man.
シロのせいじゃないわ。分かってるでしょ。私たちじゃこの子を助けることなんてできなかった。
Yeah, I mean, not much is obvious, but I think Shiro's still probably going to somewhat take that to heart. I know. I've been taught that there are people I can save and people I cannot save. I know it'll put my own life in danger if I try to do something beyond my capabilities. But still, I still wanted to save her. I don't want a child dying in front of me. I don't want anyone dying in front of me. It's more painful and scary than asking anyone else not to be able to save someone asking for help. More painful and scary than did I say than asking anyone else? Anything else? Than anything else not to be able to save someone asking for help. There's no way I can apologize, and I don't know her well enough to apologize to her. This girl is unrelated to Miyashiro. I know that without having to be told. So why? Why are those eyes crying?
どうして？
遠坂。
どうしてよ。あいつの前に出れば殺されるって分かっていたでしょ。なのにどうしてイリアスフィールを助けようとしたの？結果はどうあれ、イリアスフィールは敵だった。なのにどうしてこの子の死にそこまでしてやれるのよ。
Because we're dumb. We can't not try to save people. I wonder if it actually would have mattered which choice we made back there. To jump out or not to jump out. It matters in my heart. At least. Is it an inquiry? Osaka's eyes are serious.
どうしても何もない。助けたいと思ったから止めただけだ。
There's no other way to explain it. After glaring at me.
そう。前から異常だと思ってたけど、今ので確信したわ。シロ、あなたの生き方はひどくいびつよ。
Yes, that is correct. She tries to open a lid that I've kept closed for so long.
いびつだって。
Ooh, that song switch.
そうよ。自分より他人のが大切なんて生き方は間違ってる。いい？他人を助けるのは自分が愛されたいからだなんて一般論を口にしてるんじゃないわ。そんな偽善とは別のところで人間は自分を一番にしなくちゃいけないの。そりゃ他人が一番のやつだっている。けどそもそも自分っていうのは計りにかけられない別格なのよ。言うなれば計りそのものでしょ。なのにあんたはその計りを壊してどうでもいい他人を助けようとする。
It's a good question. How much does she know about our past?
ええ、それでも構わない。あんたが自分のないただ生きてるだけの人間ならそれもいい。けどシロは自分があるじゃない。そんな確固たる自意識があるくせに自分をないがしろにするなんてできないのよ。
She's really calling us out.
そんなことを続けてたらいつか必ず壊れるから。
No way. I can't break down. I'm doing this so that I won't break down. I'm trying to save people that I cannot save so that I can hold my head high.
いいえ、もう十分に壊れてるわ、あなたは。
Dang, she's really hitting us where it hurts.
だから言ってよ。10年前に何があったかは知らない。けど、
Yeah,
あんたがおかしくなってるのはそれが原因なんでしょうから。
she just doesn't know. Osaka looks like she's crying. Why does she have to make a face like that? It's as if she knows I'll live a thankless life, so she's trying to stop me.
学校の時もそうだった。あなたはあれだけの死体を見てとんでもなく冷静だった。私でさえ死体と勘違いしたっていうのに一別しただけでみんなが生きてるって読み取っていた。それがずっと変だって引っかかってた。
Yeah, it was very strange.
魔術師としてろくな教育を受けていないくせに殺し屋になってもすぐに自分を落ち着かせていた。
We gotta tell her now, right? Like, we can't keep her in the dark.
死体を前にして憤ることはあっても死体そのものに嫌悪を抱いてはいなかった。それはきっとあなたにとって人の死は見慣れたものだったからよ。それだけのものを10年前に見たっていうことでしょ。
That's one way to put it. I used to seeing them? Well, it's true that it wasn't my first time seeing a corpse. The students at school, Ryder who got her neck twisted off, and even this girl sleeping in front of me now. I think they've died a natural death compared to that time. But she's wrong. The fire 10 years ago saved Miyashiro. I cannot be the main reason why Tosaka's criticizing me now.
違う、遠坂。そんなことはない。俺はただ助けられただけだ。
助けられた？ あなた10年前の火事の時に助けられたのね。それがエミヤキリツグだったの。
I don't think that's what he meant by that line, but that is correct.
ああ、そうだ。ただそれだけだ。あれは原因なんかじゃない。
My heart aches when I answer. My body's telling me that it's a lie.
じゃあ他には何かなかった？ずっと後悔しているようなこととか、助けられる代償にエミヤキリツグに取られたものとかなかったの？
そんなのあるもんか。キリツグは俺を助けてくれただけだ。それに取られるも何もその時は。
I had nothing to give. I pretty much knew that would be the line, but God, man. I saw many corpses. I died at that time and was reborn. I do not have any regrets. My eyes lost hatred there. My hands lost anger there. My legs lost hope there. My self lost itself there. So why? Why do I have this self-consciousness that Tosaka speaks of?
それは
I have accepted death. I knew I was going to die. Even if my body was saved in that situation, there's no way my mind could have been saved as well. At that time, I was empty, and I just admired something sacred.
ああ、そうだった。
I remembered now. No, I didn't even put it into my memory. So I didn't realize until now that it's what really saved me.
シロ、やっぱり何か契約でもさせられたの？
違う。取られたものなんて何もない。俺はただもらっただけだ。
A world like hell. In a place where everyone but me died, I was saved. Nobody saved me, and I wasn't able to save anybody. And at the very end, he granted something that I thought was a miracle.
覚えてる。俺を覗き込む目とか、助かってくれと懇願する声を。その淵で思ったんだ。自分が助かったことじゃなくて、助けてくれる奴がいることは、なんて。
It's so wonderful, and it's such a miraculous thing. That's why I admired it. I had nothing, and there was nothing remaining in me. I admired the first thing that came into my sight.
だから、俺は。
That's the only thing I had. That's the only emotion I felt after I was saved. I was happy. I cried. That's all I could think about. So, that's all the emotion I could create.
ああ、きっと、遠坂は正しい。
It's distorted for me to put priority on others before me. There's something seriously wrong with the procedure.
けど、救われたのは俺だけだった。その時に思ったんだ。この次があるのなら、助けられなかった人の代わりに、全ての人を助けなくちゃいけないんだって。
God, man. God.
それがおかしいって言ってるのよ。いい？助かったんならまず自分を大事にしろっていうの。死んじゃった人たちには悪いけど、あんただけが助かったっていうのはただの偶然よ。ならその幸運をかみしめなさい。それだけひどい目にあったんだから、あとは楽しくやんなきゃ嘘でしょ。
You might be right, but his survivor's guilt, like, is not gonna make that lifestyle something that he can just easily accept. Osaka is seriously angry. Yeah, it makes me happy. I finally realize now, because Tosaka's that kind of person. The question I've been wondering about all by myself. I wanted to be a superhero, and I always tried to help others. I knew there was something wrong with the method, but I did not understand what. And it's so clear now. It's because of this person that is seriously angry for my sake.
何よ、これだけ言ってもまだわからないわけ？頭くるわね。そんなにわからずやだって言うなら、あんたとのコンビも。
いや、わかってる。言っただろ。遠坂は正しいって。
なら。
けど、やっぱり忠告は聞けない。
Yeah. God, man.
確かに、俺は何か間違えている。けど、いいんだ。
He knows that there is something wrong with him and he just doesn't care.
だって、誰かのためになりたいっていう思いが間違いなはずがないんだからな。
So, I answer her with as much gratitude as I can possibly put in.
まったく。そんな顔されたら何も言えないじゃない。
Maybe it got awkward as Tosaka turns and walks away. And then...
まあ仕方ないか。こうなったらもう私が何とかしてあげるわよ。
What are you planning to do about it? She sighs as she says this. Still here? The sun is setting. We return to the hall when the sky turns red. The corpse of the girl is not on the mountain of rubble. We just buried her in the courtyard. Oh man. I don't know if it's normal for servants. The black giant turned into sand. We put the sand in the same coffin as the girl. Oh man. Jeez, man.
さて、これからどうするかだけど、考えはある？
That was our last legit lead.
考え中だ。事態がまた悪い方に転んだからな。少し整理しないとやってられない。
The situation has got unimaginably worse. The only potential ally we had left is dead now. Brutally dead, that is. Like, what do we do from here? You have Shinji, and then you have Team Caster. And, I mean, if Kirei somehow got out of there alive, maybe Lancer. Not that Kirei's really a better option for an alliance, but... Or a great option. I mean, he'd probably be the best one there. Goodness, this is absurd. I don't know how we get out of this horrible spot that we're in.
そうね。最大の敵だったイリアスフィールとバーサーカーはいなくなったけど、代わりにわけわかんないやつが出てきたし。サーバントは7人しか呼ばれないはずなのに、あいつで8人目でしょ？どう見ても既存のサーバントじゃなかったけど、シンジのやつ、どこであんなのと契約したんだか。
You can put that on Kirei. That's his fault. An eighth servant, huh? I don't think we can treat that man as a servant. He has a heroic spirit that dominates all others. He has a seemingly infinite supply of noble phantasms, and he's a devil without any human emotion.
ギルガメッシュ。それって古代メソポタミア神話に出てくる英雄だよな。
Dang, he just knows. He must have known because of the chains, right? And the heavenly bull that he mentioned.
ええ、半神半人の英雄。ウルクの王、不老不死の探求者。この世のすべてを治めたとされる暴君だけど、まさかあんなイカれたやつだったとは思わなかったわ。 バーサーカーをこともなげに倒したことといい、あいつ本気になったセーバーより強いかもしれないわね。
Oh, believe me, he is. Tosaka doesn't sound as sharp. It doesn't seem like it's because there's a new enemy.
どうしたんだよ、登坂。奥歯に物が挟まったような言い方だけど。
ちょっとね。あいつ確かに強かった。あれだけの数の宝具を持ってるんだから、その力は一級品でしょ。
I mean, yeah.
けど実質はどうなのかなって。私あいつとバーサーカーにそう実力差はないと感じてたんだけど。
You think? I feel like he kind of just nay-nayed Berserker, so I'm not so sure about that. Unless you mean in personality? She ponders. Huh? Could it be that Tosaka doesn't know about his powers?
いや、あいつ自身はセイバーやバーサーカーと同じか、きっとそれ以下だ。
I mean, I guess, yeah, if he means as a fighter himself, maybe. But with those kind of noble phantasms, like...
そもそも英霊の強さは召喚された土地での知名度によるんだろ。ならギルガメッシュなんて英雄、こっちじゃ知ってるやつはそうはいないぞ。
Do people really not know who Gilgamesh is?
それはそうだけど、知名度による実力の変動だってそう大きいものじゃないわ。私にはどうもあの金ピカは反則めいて見えたんだけど。
Yeah, a ridiculously unfair advantage. Sokka calls him by a strange name. Goldie. Well, with that
い
aside...
や、だから反則だって。あいつの持ってた宝具はみんな本物だ。いや、そうじゃなくて、きっと本物の元になった武器なんだ。
Man, they really figured this one out pretty fast in this route.
ギルガメッシュは一番古い神話の英雄で、あらゆる贅沢を尽くした王様だったんだろ。なら各地の神話の元になった原点を所有していてもおかしくない。
じゃあ何？あいつが出してた宝具は宝具じゃなくてただの武器ってこと？
Yeah.
だろうな。あいつの宝具自身はきっと蔵なんだ。
Dang, he really read that like a book, huh?
生前にあいつが集めた財宝を収納した蔵こそがあいつの宝具なんだと思う。
Maybe he played the Fate route before starting this one.
そっか。ならバーサーカーが叶わないのも当然よね。英霊たちにはそれぞれ弱点がある。すべての宝具の原型を持つんなら相手の弱点となるものを持ち出せばいいだけの話だもの。
Yeah, no kidding. You kind of already figured that one out too, though. That's right. There's a chance of victory. It is that he is not what? I can't read! If there's a chance of victory, it is that he is not a master of these weapons. He is not a wielder that has mastered his weapon to the limit. So I think there's still a way to beat him. Yeah, so in terms of pure skill, he's probably below, like, Saber or Berserker. Right, but, like, that doesn't matter when he can use the weakness of literally anyone he fights. But with all that aside...
まあ、登坂、本当に関係ないんだけど、なんで金ピカなんだよ、あいつ。
いや、それはその髪が金色だったからとか。
So you just jump straight to Goldie?
何言ってんだ。それならセイバーも金ピカなんて呼んでたはずだ。金ピカ、すごいぞ。実に意味ありげじゃんか。なんか他に気づいたことがあったからそう口にしたと見た。
This is a sudden tonal shift. I think they wanted to bring the mood back in a little bit.
ここまで来て隠すなよ。登坂、なんか気づいたんだろ。
ちょっと違うってば。私のは白みたいに真面目な話じゃないからあんまり追求しないで。
Well, now I gotta know.
嘘つけ。根拠もなしで金ピカなんて呼ぶもんか。ほら、白状しろよ、登坂。今は一つでも情報が欲しいんだから。
Listen, this is definitely important information. I stare at Tosaka. After a few seconds, she sighs as if she's given up.
だからそれはあいつ高価そうなのいっぱい持ってたでしょ。 それでものすごくお金持ちなんだろうなって。
Oh my god.
だから金ピカ、あの金ピカすっごい贅沢してそうじゃない。
I mean, yeah, I suppose. Tosaka scratches her cheek while looking away. How scary. Seems anyone who's rich is called Goldie by Tosaka. What's more scary is that Tosaka figured out the servant's true nature just because he seemed rich. Gold
ともあ
digger.
れ厄介なやつが出てきたものね。8人目のサーバントって時点で破綻してるのに、そいつ自身がジョーカーなんだもの。
Oh god. Tosaka's a gold digger. Somebody call Kanye.
問い詰めようにも監督役の綺麗は行方知れずだし。まあ今はキャスターの方が大事だから後回しにするしかないんだけど。
Yes, I guess. That's right. Caster's obtaining more power as we speak. Saber should not be able to oppose Caster's control much longer. No. In the worst case, Saber could already be under her control.
そうだな。イリアスフィールの協力は得られなかったけど、だからといって放っておくわけにはいかない。こうなったら、2人だけでキャスターを倒せる手段を考えよう。
Y'all gonna have to pull something absurd.
そうね。何のアイディアもないけどやるしかないか。
She sighs and sits on the rubble.
まさかお城で作戦会議することになるなんてな。
Yeah, let alone a destroyed one. I follow Tosaka's lead and sit down. Well, I'll have a bed to sleep in here. Are you just like making this your new base? If we're lucky, we might even find some magical item of Ilya's feels. In the moment we let our guard down.
やめとけやめとけ。お前たち二人だけで裏をかく？
Who is this?
そんなの通用するわけねえだろ。間抜け。
A stunned voice comes from the front entrance. Who is that? We jump up and turn to face the speaker.
いつぞやの夜以来だな、お二人さん。お互いしぶとく生き残っているようで何よりだ。
It's been that long since I heard Lancer that I didn't even realize it was him. I should have noticed that. Oh god. So Kirei's still alive. Great. What? Is he here to kill us?
ランサー。
I quickly concentrate and connect my magic circuit. He's certainly Lancer. Yeah, he certainly is. He speared my heart on that night 10 days ago. I can't let it happen again. I have to let Tosaka escape before he attacks.
シロ離れて。あいつは私が引きつけるから、その間にあんたは2階に。
You guys really? Y'all had the same exact thought process, huh?
トサカ、走れ。あいつは俺が食い止める。トサカは一旦外に。
That's awkward.
ちょっと待った。
So no one's backing down.
あんた自分を大切にしろってさっきの話全然聞いてなかったみたいね。
Didn't he pretty much admit that he, like, understood where you were coming from, but just didn't care? She lowers the hand she pointed at Lancer and points at me. I have objections as well.
バカ言うな。忠告は聞かないってちゃんと断っただろう。殴り合いはこっちの役目だ。あいつとは2度目だし、ここはトサカより俺の方が向いている。
Why do I feel like is he even here to fight? It'd be kind of funny if he wasn't. And we do
そ
all
んなわ
this.
けないじゃない。相手は歩兵よ。飛び道具がない相手に飛び道具である私が逃げてどうすんのよ。
They're really bickering right in front of him, bro.
だからこそだろう。懐に入られたらおしまいってわからないか。いいから、トサカは遠くから援護してくれればいいんだよ。
I feel like if he was here to fight you guys, you'd both be dead right now.
バカ、援護なんてできるか。あいにくそんな器用な魔術なんて知らないわよ。やるならあんたごと吹っ飛ばすに決まってんじゃない。
自分の壊し屋っぷりを開き直るな。だいたいどうしてそう何でもかんでも派手めでいこうってんだお前は。たまにはもっとつつましいことやってみろ。キャスターがトサカはいらないもんって言ったのあんまり無視できないぞ本当。
Yo, what?
なんですってこの。
We argue for a few minutes. When we begin to tire and wonder how this got started. I notice that Lancer is watching us with a smile.
あ、もう終わりか？別に急がねえから最後まで済ましちまいな。相手への不満はとことん吐き出しといた方がいいぞ。
Bro was for real just big chillin' watching that. I cough and glare back at Lancer. I take half a step forward, and Tosaka's right behind me. Man, we should have done so from the start.
ああ、待て待て。せっかく同意を得たところ悪いが、
Called it.
こっちに戦う気はない。見るに見かねてな。
I called
少
it.
しばかり手助けしてやろうと出しゃばりに来たわけだ。
Bro wasn't even here to fight, he just watched us bicker like that. Bro was just chilling. Hold on. What did he just say?
聞き違いかしら。今手助けをするって聞こえたけど。
I think him helping us is helping him right now. Let's be real.
なんだ、わかりづらいか？なら言い直すか。お前たち二人だけではキャスターたちには太刀打ちできん。できんだろうから俺が手を貸してやると言ったんだ。
I'm stunned. But Tosaka quickly grasps the situation.
そう。本当に出しゃばりね、ランサー。聞くけど、それはあなたのアイデア？
いや、俺のマスターからの指示だ。キャスターたちがああなっちまった以上、一人きりの身としては協力者が欲しいんだと。
Figured.
連中を潰すまでの共同戦線ってやつだな。
Well, at least we still have Lancer. I don't know that Lancer can solo caster, but...
まっとうな理由ね。けど、それなら私たちよりもっと頼りがいのあるやつがいるでしょ？
That's true. She's talking about Shinji and Gilgamesh? Seems Tosaka's trying to figure out if Lancer knows about them.
いや、あれはダメだ。とてもじゃないが性に合わん。
Fair enough, but...
戦力的には申し分ないが、いちいち背中の心配をするのも面倒だろ。
Yeah, no, that's valid.
正しい選択ね、ランサー。けど、それもあなたのマスターの指示ってわけ？
それも違うな。あんたらを選んだのは俺の趣味だ。一度面識がある分話が早いだろう。
That's one way to put it. I mean, I suppose that's as close to acquaintances as you're really gonna get in the Holy Grail War. He speaks plainly. Seems that fighting Archer and driving his lance through my heart are the same as becoming acquaintances in his mind. What's the difference?
待て、ランサー。俺はお前に二度も殺されかかった。だっていうのに、お前の言葉を信用すると思っているのか？
I like the doubt, right? Not immediately trusting everyone, right? Not being some super naive protagonist. Think about it like this. If he wanted you guys dead, he could have done that. Like, in a heartbeat.
思っているさ。お前の参謀はさっぱりとしたいい女だからな。そんな女が手を貸すってんだから、お前だって物好きなお人よしなんだろ？
I guess that's how that works. I frown. I'm troubled that Tosaka's nodding at our enemy's words.
そういうわけだ。だから協力できるって思ったのさ。ああ、言っておくが、お前たちがじゃない。お前たちなら協力してやっていいとこの俺が思ったんだ。
Can't understand the difference.
大した自信ね。協力しようって持ちかけておいて、選ぶのはそっちってこと？
ああ、初見からあんたのことは気に入ってたんだぜ。美人で強情で肝が据わっていると来ている。女をマスターにするんならな、あんたみたいなのがいい。
Lancer looks at Tosaka with cool eyes. I don't like him for some reason. Man, what servant do you like?
いいわ。私は賛成。けどまだ決定じゃない。エミヤ君が信用できないって言うんなら、この話はなかったことにするけど。
Shiro, please, this is like your last lifeline, bro. You gotta take the olive branch here.
だそうだ。どうする小僧。お前、器を試されてるぞ。
Lancer looks at me, trying to suppress his laughter. My answer is... yes? Ally with Lancer, ally under condition, or do not ally. What would the one condition be? I would need to know what that condition is to really make that choice. Should I just... I'm just gonna go with it. See what the condition is and then make a choice. We have to accept his offer. Even if he's an enemy, he's still right. Tosaka and I can't beat Caster. We might have a chance if Lancer's with us. But...
分かった。お前の言い分は信じる。けど条件付きだ。キャスターを倒すために手を貸してもらうし、俺たちもお前を信用する。その代わり。
その代わりなんだ？俺のマスターを教えろってか？
Probably.
違う。仲間だからって気安く遠坂には近寄るな。
Sheesh. The air freezes. Lancer's speechless, like he's been sucker punched.
なるほどなるほど。そりゃそうだ。俺のマスターなんぞよりそっちの方が何倍も重要だよな、坊主。
Tosaka's looking at us like, are you for real? Are you actually serious right now, Shiro? He starts laughing heartily.
なんだよ、悪いか。言っとくけど、遠坂はやらないからな。
まさか悪くなんかね。むしろ見直したところだ。
Tosaka's just sitting there like, what? What is going on?
いや、いいね、お嬢ちゃん。坊主、あんたにぞっこんじゃないか。
I really like Lancer. He's fun. He's fun, right? Like reading him. Like most of the scenes he's in, I really enjoy.
何言ってんのよあんた。私とシロはそんなんじゃないわよ。そう私たちはただの協力関係なんだから。
I'm glad I chose this scene.
そうか？
なんかムカつくわねあんた。何よその見透かしたような顔は。
Bruh, she's pissed. Look at her face. Bro said, really? Oh man.
ほら、シロもなんか言いなさいよ。私たちはただの協力関係だって。なんか言いなさいよバカ。これじゃ本当に私たちが付き合ってるって。
Bro said, I solemnly swear to tell no lies.
だから本当も何もとっくに出来上がってんだよお前たち。傍から見てる俺でさえわかるのに当の本人たちがごまかしてるだな。ああ、こりゃこの先も大変だぞ少年。
Lancer makes a sympathetic gesture.
まあ、遠坂が大変なのはもう分かってるから。
I dismiss his sympathy with a sour look.
ほう、そりゃ頼もしい。じゃあ俺もそれなりに気を使ってジョーちゃんと付き合おう。だがまあ、からかうと面白いジョーちゃんなんだな。道中楽しませてはもらうぜ。それぐらいの見返りは構わねえだろ。
Gonna give Tosaka a taste of her own medicine.
分かった。その線でいこう。キャスターを倒すまであんたの力を借りる。
I'm looking forward to that. That ought to be fun. Like getting we probably won't see Lancer that much, actually, in like chill moments like this. But it's fun. I'm not gonna lie.
決まりだな。じゃあまあ、とりあえず握手と。
Lancer walks to me unarmed and shakes my hand. There are worrying factors, but we're able to obtain a reliable ally. All that's left is...
この頭きた。いいわよ。あんたたちなんてこっちから願い下げよう。こうなったら私一人でキャスターをとっちめるんだから。
This is what it's like on the other side, Tosaka. How can I calm her down? That's what's really important here. Now we gotta leave the forest. I saw some updates to the status screen. What all was there? Ringing in my ear. That's fun. Nothing for Lancer. So where were the updates? Probably wouldn't be there. Oh, yeah, it'd probably be here. What? How do they not have his master? I mean, as of now, it's very obviously Shinji. We should have already read all this, so... I'm gonna go through it again, because none of it really looked new. We walk through the dark forest. Although we don't know his intentions, having Lancer's help means we don't need to stay at the castle anymore. Lancer must have taken a liking to Tosaka, as he keeps messing with her and getting hit by her.
ちょっとあんたね、ちゃんと自分のマスターがいるんでしょ？ならおとなしくしてなさいよ。キャスターを倒したら敵同士になるんだし、話なんかしてもしょうがないでしょ？作戦会議以外はみんな無駄口よ、無駄口。
You might be right, but it's more fun this way.
なんだ、敵になるからって話はなしか？見かけによらず余裕がないんだな。相手が敵であろうと、気が合うなら膝交えて語り明かすってのが情だろうに。
Oh man, Lancer's something else.
いつの時代の人間よ、あんた。そういうね、明日には殺すけど今日は親友だなんてのは今時流行らないの。やるとなったら徹底してやらないと相手にも失礼じゃない。
はあ、そりゃまたつまんねえ世の中になったもんだ。
Lancer does not learn his lesson. I think they've been repeating the same kind of conversation for a while now.
それよりランサー、自分の役割きちっと分かってるんでしょうね。
What, the hard carry?
ああ、梅雨払いは任せておけ。お前たち二人でキャスターとそのマスターと戦うんだろ。俺の役目はアーチャーの相手だ。最悪セーバーもどうにかしなくちゃならんが、まあ抑えるだけなら問題ない。
He speaks objectively. He isn't even scared of fighting Saber and Archer at the same time. Yeah, we haven't seen, like, his full potential, but, I mean, he duked it out with Gilgamesh. Probably got whooped, but he definitely isn't going to be scared of any fight. Oh yeah, Saber commented on him when we were training in the dojo. She said Lancer is the best when it comes to surviving. She praised him, saying that with his excellent agility and great experience, Lancer would be an impregnable wall if he went into defense. He must have fought many battles from disadvantageous positions when he was alive. Yeah, that is putting it lightly. I actually just read about Cuchulainn a bit. This man ran through fatal battles like a panther and lived on. Pretty much. Let's see if it's in his status screen. Like in the details area. Probably be close to the end. I suppose Tales of a Hero very, very greatly. Or vary a lot. Because I read this part of the story between the war with the Golden Bull, right? And I saw something. It was talking about how he basically would only fight one person at a time, right? And was basically on a defensive battle, like, for an incredibly long time until the actual men of Ulster, right? And once, like, Cuchulainn was, like, finally getting exhausted, right? After all the fighting, like constantly, right? The 1v1s, the main army like kind of came back. It's a bit different than it is here, but the point is, the legend I read, yes, he fought a lot of defensive battles from disadvantageous positions.
それはいいけどな。敵はアーチャーとセイバーだけじゃない。キャスターの下にはアサシンもいるんだろう。なら最悪あんたの相手は3人ってことになるぞ。
ああ、そりゃやべえな。あの野郎は苦手だ。できれば1対1でもやり合いたかね。あの手のやつは遠くから仕留めるに限るが、まあその心配は不要だな。
Fair enough.
アサシンは教会には現れない。
Why is that?
どうしてそう断言できるのよ。キャスターが竜道寺に戻らないなら、門番としてアサシンだって呼び戻すんじゃないの？
Regards to the temple, not necessarily her.
いや、アサシンはキャスターが呼び出したサーバントだが、それゆえに制約がある。奴はあの場所そのものに呼び出された英霊だ。竜道寺を離れることはできんし、何よりキャスターが呼び戻さんだろう。
Oh, that's convenient.
あれはキャスターがマスターに黙って独断で召喚したサーバントだ。マスターが教会にいる以上は隠し通すし、おいそれと竜道寺を手放すこともできまい。
竜道寺を手放せない。それってつまり
聖杯の召喚場所があの山だからだろうな。知っているか？聖杯戦争は今回で5回目だが、聖杯が呼び出される土地は4カ所ある。
Wow.
そのうちの一つが竜道寺であり、教会でもあるわけだ。
So it's pretty much fated for the Holy Grail War to always happen here.
ちなみに3回目の召喚場所は教会だったらしい。4回目はどこぞの平地だったそうだ。
Yeah, we know.
へえ、戦ってれば幸せみたいな人だと思ったけど、
Man, I
意外に
wonder
物知りなんだ、あなた。
wonder how he's so well informed about the past of the Holy Grail War. Crazy.
単にマスターが小難しいやつなだけだ。お前たちの事情に関心があるわけじゃない。
けどそっか。じゃあ今回の召喚場所って1回目と同じ場所に戻ったってことなのね。
Tosaka starts to ponder. Lancer watches her with delight and walks on in the dark forest. The date has already changed. The day should be dawning by the time we get out of this forest. I mentally prepare myself as I walk. We will fight Castor again in a few hours. I won't hesitate, even if that girl would have turned into our enemy by then. We'll defeat Castor. I have to tell myself that it is the most important thing right now. We head to the battlefield. No matter what may be awaiting us at the church at daybreak, we cannot stop now. Okay, we are gonna call it here. Because I could very well see us getting into a huge fight scene that would take a very long time if I don't call it here. So 213 bookmark. So I don't know what to say. That was a great episode. First of all, we came in with the hope of a new ally, right? And that did not work out, obviously. Instead, we finally make our way to Illya's castle. And we come upon the observation that somebody else is there. And obviously we peek in and realize it's Gilgamesh, who is stirring up trouble, right? He is proving to be the fearsome foe that we know from the Fate route. Perhaps even more so with the cage ability, the chains. But man, I just gotta say, the way they did Illya, wow. I cannot believe how they did Illya in this route. Actually insane. To just kill her off like that. She was such an important character in the Fate route, and they brutally kill her off like that. Sheesh, man. goodness. Unbelievable. I felt so bad. It was hard to watch that scene. Right? Illya getting blind, her being blinded like that, and still blindly searching for Berserker in her last moments. And then the backstory, man, that hit. Man, did that hit. Oh man, that was so tough. But that sequence was amazing. And then we had the confrontation between, Gilgamesh and Shiro, and then Osaka and Shinji, right? It ended in them leaving for an unknown reason. Are they trying to use her heart to summon the Holy Grail? That's all I can think, right? It's the only reason they would have left there, I feel. Because he said, like, there's not much time, right? Like, we have to go. But he didn't seem very happy to leave that business unresolved. And of course, right after that, you get into a really deep introspection into Shiro, right? More about his mentality and his mindset, and Tosaka was talking about it and how problematic it is, and how he's disturbed, right? He does not act like a normal person should, right? And it's like people will keep calling him out for that, and it's like Shiro's to the point where he's like, yes, I am disturbed, I am like traumatized, but I don't care, right? If I can save other people, right? Like, what's wrong with that? Why would there be anything wrong with that? Man. And then of course I feel like it had been a pretty heavy episode up to that point, so they kind of decided to reel it in a bit, go a little more lighthearted with some of those scenes between Lusaka and Shiro, and then Lancer rolls up, and then they're bickering, and then Lancer's like, yeah, I'm not here to fight, actually. I'm here for an alliance, but it was fun watching you fight. And I'm going to tease Tosaka, I think. And the option to, on one condition, you can't be close to Tosaka. Like, oh my god. And Tosaka's reaction to that was just hilarious to me. But then we got some strategizing, and it looks like we are about to take the fight to Caster. Will Lancer be enough? I mean, he's gonna have to be. We don't really have another choice. But man, it is getting, well, it just keeps getting better, right? It's not that it's getting interesting. It's been interesting the whole time, and this route somehow keeps getting like more enjoyable and intriguing to me. I'm absolutely loving this route so far. Can't wait for the next episode. Like I said, I've got schoolwork to attend to, so there's a very good chance that I have to slow down to at least every 3 days. I would have liked to do every 2, but I realistically need to spend a lot of time working on this. I go to school for game development, so I'm pretty far behind, but I gotta make a game, and I gotta spend a lot of time on that, because I wouldn't want to make some crappy game. None of you guys really care about that, though. Point is, I gotta spend a lot of time on that, so I'm kind of adding a day into that schedule, or that rotation, where I work on my game. So it'll probably be like every 3 days is the ideal right now. Anyways, that's it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. I know I always say that, but the truth is I really do love this game. So, especially this route, I've been loving every episode. There's not been one episode where I've like gotten to the end, I'm like, dang, this sucked. Like, this wasn't really that good. Not much happened. Right? It's just been insane the whole way through. But so seriously, I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I did. And next video should be out in a few days. I hope to see you guys there. Peace.